Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boo Shakalaka podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany, and I'm joined by my co-host, Pierre.
And what it is, what's up?
What's
Can
up?
a player just get into
I don't think those were the words, but we're gonna roll with it like we usually do. We've reached that age where we just make up words to songs. But I mean, I've been making up words for a very long time to songs.
Oh yeah, like your favorite song.
I'm Real Remix.
Your lifestyle.
I thought you were talking about J-Lo's I'm Real. When she said, when R. Kelly, not R. Kelly, when Ja Rule says, "What's my motherfucking name?" and she says, "Are you Ellie?" I thought she said ARE space YOU space ELLY question mark.
Bye. Bye.
So I actually have been making up shit for a very long time, but I'm not making up one of the best movies known to man, which is Serial Mom. Now, Serial Mom was released in 1994.
Shit.
And yeah, can you believe that? I was 11 when Serial Mom came out. Like, it is unbelievable that it was that long ago. 1994, and I can read the synopsis. She's the perfect all-American parent, a great cook and homemaker, a devoted recycler, and a woman who will literally kill to keep her children happy. And I think that very much describes Beverly Sutphin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is not a movie. We shouldn't have been watching this when we were kids. I'm sorry. We should not have been watching this movie.
This is true cinema, kids. Like, this is what it was before streaming, like when writers were writing, when like movies could just be made. It wasn't just all about profit. We're trying to get $1 billion. Like, this is true old-fashioned satirical dark comedy legend, if you will.
It's still a horror movie because there are some very scary scenes in it. So I don't care what anybody says. It's a horror comedy to me.
Yeah. So get ready.
I'm trying to remember the first time I ever saw this. I feel like I rented it from the video rental, and I watched it, and I was like, it started off, I'm like, oh god, I'm not gonna like this, and then immediately I was like 3 minutes in, I think, is when we get the best part. One of the best parts.
Yeah. I think I just saw it on Lifetime one time, and it stuck with me. Like, it's impossible not to stick with you. Like,
how the fuck was this movie on Lifetime?
I feel like it had to be on Lifetime, because I know I didn't watch it. The first time I watched it, it was not where I heard the curse words. So it had to be on Lifetime. I don't know, USA. Like, I'm trying to think of all the old channels we used to have. TNT.
You know what? I'd probably go with USA before I went with Lifetime.
It feels like it's on Lifetime. Or maybe there was something like it on Lifetime. I don't know. Not without my daughter. I don't know. But
not without my daughter. The wrong cheerleader. The wrong ex-boyfriend.
Daddy's little girl.
So this movie, it starts off saying that it is a true story, and I believe it.
I couldn't tell if that was part of the satire, because I was like, I've never heard of this. So just saying. Okay. It was back then, so they could say anything. Like, back I mean, then, because I used to think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies were like true stories too. Because, the guy, he comes on and there's that little, and he's like, in a world where you get cut up. So I thought it was true, because they even had like fake footage. And then I found out it was just all make-believe, and it was based on Ed Gein. And I'm just very pissed about that.
Well, I mean, I'm glad it wasn't true.
I was scared because I thought it was true.
Okay. Well, anyway, you can go ahead and get this one started.
All right. So we start with Serial Mom, not like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And so we get our introduction to the Sutphins, and we see this beautiful house. normal neighborhood, and we get introduced to the characters. So we have Eugene, who is the father. He's a dentist by trade. And what you have to understand, like I said, we're in a satire, so everything's exaggerated. And so he's a dentist, and everything has to be eaten healthy. He wants his kids to eat healthy. And then we have Beverly, and she is the, homemaker, housewife, perfect hair. Think Brie Vandekamp, but with blonde hair. Perfect hair, perfect clothes. She has this big phobia of chewing gum. She doesn't like all that chomping and chewing. Like, she's just very strict, but very nice, very happy, and just very accepting and loving of her kids. Like, it really is kind of beautiful, like their dynamic as a family. Misty is the oldest. She is the daughter, and she is played by Ricky Lake. What are we going to call her? We're going to say she's like, I don't want to call her Meg. She's not like the Meg of the family. She's just like boy crazy. I would just say that. Yeah. She's just the boy crazy girl. Like, there's a boy, he's so cute. Like, no personality traits you like about him.
Done.
no career, no intelligence. Just he's so hot. That's her. She's just that boy crazy girl. And then we have the youngest boy, but he's in high school. So Missy's in college. Chip is in high school. And so Chip is the, like, I don't even know how I would describe him. I would just say, he works at a video store. He's really into horror movies. Think Randy from Scream, which is actually funny because he's played by Matthew Lillard. So just interesting dynamic of a family, because even though they're all different, they just work. I don't know. When I was watching, I was like, this is really so cute in the first few minutes. And so So as they're all sitting at the dinner table, I don't know what they're eating: pancakes, eggs, I don't know, bacon.
They're eating cereal.
But wasn't she cooking? Because she was like, "Don't you want eggs?"
She made eggs, toast, just like the regular breakfast.
Oh, food. A balanced breakfast. Because I always hated that on cereal commercials when they're like, there's cereal, but then there's eggs and toast. Like, why am I eating cereal then?
Who does that? It's 2 bowls of cereal or nothing.
Sideway, do you know the original Reese's Puffs cereal commercial? It was like a kid and his sister worked at a diner, and she brought him out the cereal, and I was like, who the hell eats cereal at a diner? Anyway,
I only eat cereal at home. I do not eat cereal anywhere. It has to be in my house, my bowl, my spoon.
Okay, so I'm like, what? Okay, but anyway, so yeah, they're eating a balanced breakfast, and the police pull up, and they walk, and they knock on the door, of course, and they're like, hey, we're around town, asking questions about, your neighbor Dottie Hinkle getting a threatening letter, and so they're like, oh my God, not poor Dottie, and so. He's like, here's the letter, but we have to warn you, it's language. And so it's basically one of those letters, one of those bodyguard letters where they cut out the letters of a magazine. And
it's like a ransom note.
Okay, yeah. Because I was like, what do you call that? There has to be a word for that, because it's just, the random letters from different things. So I don't know why they do that. Very, very time consuming. And so the letter says, I'm going to get you, pussy face. And so... And so, Beverly's like, oh my God, that is the limit. I've never even said the P word out loud. And, they're just completely like, flabbergasted. Mind you, this is a suburban family. So, that kind of language is just inappropriate, which leads me to my question, Tiffany, because you are a woman. Does the P word offend you?
No.
Oh, okay. So you can say
neither does the C word.
Okay. So I've met a girl younger than me who does not like the P word at all. So I was just, that's interesting, because apparently some women really don't like it, which is okay. I had to throw that out there because she was like, oh my God, I've never even said it out loud. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, you say other shit, Beverly. So the police show the note, Chip's like, hey, let me see it. They're like, no, all that kind of thing. And then Beverly goes into her optimism rant, we'll call that. She's like, officers, life doesn't have to be ugly. Look at the birds. Ooh-wee.
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 Ooh-wee. The officers are like, let's get up out of here. This crackpot, let's go.
So the only thing you need to get from this interaction also is that Misty's getting picked up by her. She has a date, this guy she met at college who she thinks is hot. Carl. And but in the meantime, there's something about this particular detective. So as you know, with duos, there's one that looks like Mario and one that looks like Luigi. And so the detective who looks like Luigi is apparently very attractive. That will matter later on in the movie. So detectives leave and the kids are going off to school, and then Misty's going off to the swap meet.
Yes, she works at the swap meet.
So they're going to leave, and then Chip's best friend pulls up, and he pulls up with his girlfriend. Well, Chip's best friend pulls up with Chip's girlfriend. Just want to make that clear. So Chip's girlfriend Birdie and his best friend Scotty pull up, and Beverly's hey, here are the detectives, and this is Detective Pike and Detective I don't remember the other guy's name.
Not either.
And Beverly makes it known that Scotty does not wear his seatbelts. Beverly's very strict about rules, regulations, and laws. The police don't give a damn. They're detectives. Calm down. And then Carl pulls up. He almost runs into the dad as he's leaving. And Carl Pageant pulls up, and he's not hot.
90s white hot was very different than 90s black hot.
Okay, because I'm like Sean Patrick Thomas, Carl Pageant. Anywho, so yeah, he
Sean Patrick Thomas.
I don't know why I just said
that. Sean Patrick Save the Last Dance Thomas.
Okay, you were not there for Cruel Intentions. Anywho,
he was in Cruel Intentions?
Yeah, he was the black guy. My husband and I gave money to Colin Powell.
I never saw that movie.
Tiffany will no longer be part of the podcast. If you like to apply, send in applications. So when Carl gets there, he introduced himself to Beverly, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're Misty's date," and he's like, more of a friend, which is
right.
When you I'm like, Misty, do you read the room when you're interacting with these men? Because he does not seem into her at all. The nicest thing he did to her was open the car door. Outside of that, Misty, he don't want you like that.
So why was he with her? Was she really smart or something? Why was he?
That part I don't know. I know she.
What was the dynamic?
Because I know she was like, I think she might have said he part of my. Oh, they met in the library or something like that. I don't know. But she was like, Carl thinks it's crazy how much money I get to swap meet. I don't know, maybe he wanted some extra cash. I don't know. Because at this point, it's like, why are you hanging out with her then?
He pulled up in a Jeep. Like, he has money.
Again, maybe she's just the duff.
But where are the other friends? Is it Dottie and Rosemary?
So Beverly has to go to a PTA meeting, and so she heads off as well. And when she heads off, she sees
what are you
doing? No, I'm skipping.
What are you doing?
I'm skipping. Oh my gosh. So
reverse. So everybody leaves. Everybody goes to their respective areas where they're going to go, and we see Beverly upstairs, and she pulls out her phone. She's smiling, and she's like,
and this is when the whole movie takes a turn. You will never, everything you witnessed before, it's over. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The first 3 minutes of the film is over, and let it go.
Okay, you want to act it out?
No. Both of us? Okay.
I'm calling you. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello?
Is this the cocksucker residence?
God damn you! Stop calling here.
Isn't this 4124 Pussy Way?
You bitch!
Here, let me check the zip code. 212. Fuck you.
And in the midst of this phone call, we see the nosy neighbor, Rosemary Ackerman. Sorry. Rosemary Ackerman is going over to Beverly's house. She just walks in the door like nosy neighbors do. And so she's, walking around the house, and she's coming up the stairs as this phone call is happening. Okay, you ready? You ready? It's your part. You got to call again. No, you got to call again.
Oh. Beep, 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 beep.
Didn't I just say fuck you?
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry. Who was this?
This is Mrs. Williams from the telephone company.
It's Mrs. Wilson, but okay.
This is Miss Wilson from the telephone company. I hear you've been having calls from you've been getting phone calls from an obscene caller.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Wilson. I don't like bad language. I'm a single woman. I've had my number changed. I've changed twice. I've had my number changed twice already. I'm a divorced woman. Please help me. That's what she said, divorced.
So I am a divorced woman, and I use that all the time. I'm a divorced woman. Please help.
Does that work?
No. So then, like, so the conversation continues. I can't remember everything.
Well, she's just like,
always,
can you let us know what this is called? This
oh yeah,
obscene
can you
caller
tell
is
us what this
saying?
obscene phone caller says to you?
I'm sorry, I don't use bad language.
Well, I understand, but we need it for our records.
Pussy. That's what she calls me.
Listen to you, filthy mouth, you fucking whore! God damn you!
And so they go back and forth cursing each other, and then
Motherfucker,
cocksucker, and then Rosemary Ackerman opens the door, and she's like, Beverly, is everything okay? She's like, Rosemary. Oh yeah. It sounds like you were shouting, and she's like, oh, I was on the phone with the telephone company. You know how they can be. And then, Beverly's like, have you heard about what happened to poor Dottie Hinkle? And she's like, who would want to harass poor Dottie? And so then you get the flashback. And so basically, Beverly has been the one harassing Dottie Hinkle, calling her, sending her threatening letters.
Madea stole this. Yes.
Tyler Perry stole it. And so basically, Beverly's at the supermarket in her station wagon, and she's just driving up, and she sees a parking spot right next to the store, and those ones like
bye.
Yeah. Oh, bye-bye. I love so good you said it. Like, again, she's very like outwardly pleasant, like someone's leaving and bye-bye. And so as she's about to turn in, Dottie whips in. This would have pissed me off too. Dottie whips right up in, takes her parking spot, and she gets out like she a bad bitch. Like, girl, you're wearing leather in the summertime. Leather and a coat. Like, she looks like an Indian burial ground. And so from that moment, Beverly has had grievances towards poor Dottie Hinkle. So that's the explanation of why she is threatening her via phone call and mail.
Yep.
So
Yep. Don't steal people's parking spots. It's just as simple as that.
That is Beverly's nature. And so it goes a little deeper. So like I said earlier, she has a PTA meeting with one of Chip's teachers.
Mr. Stubbins.
Mr. Stubbins. I'm sorry, I just thought about that fly scene. And so she goes to the school, and she sees all the parents there, and this is where we're introduced to one of Eugene's patients. And I'll get to the Sterners. So Mr. and Mrs. Sterner, and apparently they go to him a lot because Mr. Sterner has a fucked up grill. Like, I mean, just get out of here. And so Beverly's called in, and so she, goes in, and she, she hands him a what is it, fruitcake? And so
those are
just
disgusting.
a Christmas thing. So yeah, she hands him a fruitcake, bon appetit, because of course Beverly is Beverly. She's gonna make the teacher, a nice little something to eat. And so he basically explains, Chip is like basically the top student, great grades, he's very engaging in the classroom, like perfect student. And she's like, oh great, let me go. And he's like, wait, hold on, bitch. And so he's basically concerned because, as I stated before, Chip works at a video store, and he is very into horror movies. And so he does a lot of drawings, and a lot of his discussions are about horror movies. And Mr. Stubbins finds that very disgusting. He calls him sick, very insulting towards him, despite being a good student, which I didn't know teachers did that. I feel
like what does it matter what he's drawing?
I feel like if it's something where it's a danger to others, where if it's, actually like a student that he's threatening, but if it's like him drawing Jason, Freddy, and all the others, it's like, who cares? So I didn't know teachers did that. I thought, they should be concerned with other things.
This is the 90s.
Oh yeah, rock and roll is evil.
And he asked her, tell me, did he torture animals when he was young?
No.
And Beverly is just like, she's just so taken aback by this. She cannot believe somebody is talking about this, about her sweet baby. So they end the meeting, and we see this girl standing by a tree smoking a joint, and we also see Beverly in her car, her blue station wagon, and she's driving very slowly through the parking lot. And she sees Mr. Stubbins, and Mr. Stubbins, what does he do? He turns around and puts a piece of gum in his mouth. And that was like the cherry on top. And she was like, that's it. I'm out of here. So she puts the pedal to the fucking metal and runs his ass over. And she even double taps him. Like, she wanted to make sure that he was dead. And then we see her driving up to a car wash. Like, that's it. Like, this is the introduction Dottie was the introduction of her anger, and then Mr. Stubbins revved it up even more.
Yes, we are now solidified that Beverly is a murderer.
Murderer.
We are led to believe. We're led to believe this is her first murder, though.
Right.
So again, apparently her kids are a trigger, and so Chip's at home watching a horror movie with
Birdie
Scotty and Birdie. I don't know what the fuck they're watching. It
was disgusting. It's the Citizen Kane of horror. It's a sheep's tongue.
That's really.
I don't know.
Wow.
It looked like a what's it called? When you die and then they cut you open. Autopsy?
Oh,
yeah.
An autopsy.
It kind of looked like an autopsy video, but I think the person was alive, like hand in mouth, like fish hooking in the mouth. Like, I don't like that. I love horror, but that
yeah, gore. And we'll get to that later. But
well, no, Scotty, I like gore, but not like that.
Okay, so Scotty is repulsed by this, like we were. And so he's headed out, and Beverly's there, and she has, I want to say peanut butter cookies just because I like her. And I want to believe she made some good fucking peanut butter cookies. And so she's like, cookies. And so Scotty goes to throw up. And so she goes and she hands the cookies, and she's like, Birdie, run along home. And she tells Scotty to leave too when he comes back, and she hands him his porno because he just. So what we need to talk about Scotty,
so horny.
He's horny. That he's a pervert. He just walks around, because this is when pornos were just in magazines, and he just walks around with it. Like, at his friend's house with his friend's girlfriend there. Like, why shouldn't that be a private
he
thing?
even tells them, turn this off. I want to see some pussy.
Yes, he does. You may recognize Scotty because he's also Andy Barkley from Child's Play 3, who turned Asian.
Who turned Asian?
He's Asian. Please tell me you recognize that. Or maybe, well, he's Filipino still. Yeah.
Well, Philippines Asian. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
You really didn't know that? You can't look at him and tell?
Mm-mm. Did you know that Mark Paul Gosselaar was half Asian?
What the fuck is that?
Zach Morris?
Oh, yeah, I did know.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I was shocked by Keanu Reeves, though. I was very shocked by Keanu Reeves.
I can kind of see that.
Did
you know that I'm Asian?
You can burn in hell. You are Native American at best. So
black ancestry DNA said you black and you got some white in you. You from Mississippi.
Oh,
so
really?
What do you expect?
Oh, I got to do my 23andMe. I feel like I'm gonna be shocked.
Rosemary, they're eating dinner.
No, wait. I haven't gotten there yet. So Beverly just talks to Chip, and she's like, basically, what the reason she made the friends leave is because, hey, Mr. Sutphin says, you've been into like horror, you've been heavy into the horror, so maybe you need to chill out. Very like, momming it. But then she asked to finish the movie where he has his tongue ripped out. So she's hot and cold. I don't know. Beverly's weird. Mm-hmm. And so now we're at the dinner, and they're just eating, and yum, 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 yum. And then Beverly!
That's Mrs. Puff, right?
Puff. I was just, get out of my head. I was just going to say, y'all might recognize her voice because she is the voice of Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
So
Beverly,
a teacher at your school is
heard on Mr. Stuber, Mr. Sturgeon, Mr. Stubbins. That's my math teacher.
Mm-hmm. And so they turn it on. That's how she said it.
She did.
And so they turn it on, and of course, because this is the 90s, everything is the news. And so they're covering it, and they're like, teacher was murdered, and so they have the stoner girl on the
Time out. They said Mr. Stubbins, math teacher, 38.
He was 38?
Bitch, he was born in fucking 1938.
He was bald.
They said 38. I wrote down 38.
Hell no.
What the fuck?
Hell no.
Go back and watch it. 38 years
That man
old.
had to at least be 53. I'm sorry.
38.
I'm sorry.
He was either 38 or born in 1938. I don't know, but they said 38.
That's his license plate tag. Anywho.
Stoner girl, I'm sorry.
So, the stoner girl's on the TV, and 38. And so she's like, still high. And she's like, hey, he got flattened, man. He got flattened by a blue station wagon, man. And so
they flattened him just like a pancake.
Yeah, and so Rosemary's like, Beverly, you own a blue station wagon. You know, she's the thing. Again, this is satire, but she is the worst cover-up person. She's like, Rosemary, I don't drive that bad. And I'm like, throughout the film, you'll see when it comes to her being questioned about these murders, she do not give a damn if she's caught, because she really be like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, like, the care be out the window. I'd be like, girl, you don't, like, people, if you hit someone with your car, going through a car wash is not going to stop that. Like, there's gonna be
it was a hand car wash, so they might have got all of it.
Yeah, I just feel like the dents. I feel like he'd be like, I don't know, but you gotta get under the car too. I don't know. Anywho, this is also when we're exposed to how Eugene feels about murderers, because he's very much so, oh, they should get the death penalty. And I'm just like, again, maybe this is 1994, and I'm just, because I was like, he's like, damn. He's like, whoever did this should get the death penalty. He's just very stern about people getting the death penalty for murder, which is okay, but I mean, like, damn, okay. And so we get to that night. And Beverly, you know, she says her prayers and she, you know, hops into bed and she's just like, you know, good night. And so she's like, I don't get a good night kiss.
No, she is supposed to be looking at her bird watching books. And we see she has pictures of Charles Manson in it, and she's like rubbing the book like, oh yeah, daddy. And she tells Eugene, I can't get a good night kiss. And he's like, oh, I didn't think you would be into it with everything that happened today. And she basically is like, I'm into it. Let's do it. And it is the most disgusting sounding. They don't even show any. They're on top of each other. And she's like, oh.
Oh yeah. Get
oh,
it.
Yeah.
Get it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's the weirdest sex scene I've ever seen. The weirdest clothed sex scene you will ever see.
The kids come out the room and they look at each other. You need to look this way. You ready? The kids are like, what the hell? Ew! I guess they've never heard their parents have sex before, but
I don't know why they included that in the movie, but yeah, Beverly with it. Beverly is with it. And so they wake up the next morning, all summery and sweet, and they're bird watching. And there are these little birds that come and they, you know, eat on, I don't know, they have the little house. I don't know what bird watchers do, that local birds. Anyway, they're enjoying the birds, and Eugene gets a phone call from Mr. Sterner, and he's just like, oh, this tooth is goddamn killing me. And so he's like,
it's supposed to be, it's his day off.
Yeah, it's his day off. And so hence the bird watching. And so, you know, he's like, okay, we'll get you in Monday. And of course, the wife who wears the pants grabs the phone and she's like, he'll die before then. I mean, the roots are infected. And so then Eugene's like, you know, okay, you know, I'll be there by 10. And so he's like, sorry, hun. Ooh. He's like, sorry, hun. We gotta cancel it. The birds will be there next week. I guess they only come a certain day a week. And so she's just like, oh, you know, I understand. She does not understand. So she accepts it. She closes that door. She runs off to Chip's room in like the most the most villain walk I've ever seen. And she, you know, she wakes Chip up. But again, she has spurts of anger with her family. She does not. She's never truly angry and upset with her family. Just more so everyone else. And so the detectives. In the midst of her looking out the window at the birds, she sees that the detectives are talking to Rosemary, and, you know, Rosemary is pointing at her house. And so she's getting breakfast started, you know, running around the kitchen, getting breakfast started. And Misty's downstairs and she's crying because she's been stood up by Carl. Why she thinks she's been stood up? Because he said he was going to be there at a certain time and he has not come yet. And she's just like, that bastard, I'll kill him. I hate him. He deserves to die. And I'm like, girl, you don't know how to read the clues. He's just not that into you. And so, you know, Beverly's not really paying her any mind. She's more so focused on the police who are like lurking outside. They're going through the trash. They're looking in the window. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, just weird shit for detectives who don't have a search warrant yet. And so they finally knock on the damn door. She's like, Carl. She's like, no, that's the police. And so they come in, and what did they say? Let me see what the notes say. I thought we could freestyle like 1 and 6 at Park. So they found so they come in and they're questioning Beverly about the murder. you know, like, oh, the teacher at your school, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so like, oh yes, such a tragedy. And so in comes in Scotty and Birdie. They just come in every morning. And so they go and they sit down at the table and they're just, you know, doing their thing while the police are interrogating Beverly. And so they ask her about her car and they say, basically, you know, we looked for the registered vehicles of all the parents at the school, and you're the only one who owns this car. And so, you know, Eugene's very defensive. He's like, you know, what are you trying to say? My wife did it. Like, my wife's the best person in the world. And so in the midst of this, Scotty, you know, the kids are making jokes. He's like, she did it. She ran him over. You know, they're laughing about it. You know, it's just a big funny thing. And then they notice a magazine on the table. And he's like, he notices that Detective Pike notices that a P is cut out of the magazine. He's like, P as in people who don't mind their own business.
Yeah.
And so Beverly grabs the magazine and she basically explains that it's not her magazine. It's actually Rosemary Ackerman's magazine. And so she also explains that she recycles all of hers. And so, you know, the detectives don't have enough. So they leave. And so Beverly's pissed at Rosemary at this point. I'm guessing everyone leaves because Beverly is recycling. Do you want to go over her recycle music, Tiffany?
So we see her in the kitchen and it's like a music montage and the song Daybreak. If you only believe it could be daybreak. There's no something, and let it shine.
And so the garbage men are outside, and in the midst of the garbage men being outside, she looks over and she sees Rosemary Ackerman, and she's just like, I don't know, just dumping trash in the trash can.
It's styrofoam noodles everywhere. Like, she don't give a shit.
Some of it's falling on the ground, and she gets pissed. So she goes to a knitting kit that Rosemary had given her earlier. Not to bring the dog into this. And she goes and grabs some scissors. But she's just like, oh, the garbage men are outside. So she puts the scissors down and she goes and she grabs some mini bottles of George Clooney's Casamigos. And so and so she runs out with her recycling bag and she's like, boys, wait for me. And so she hands her her recycling bag, hands them the alcohol, and you know, they enjoy a little drink because a little drink never hurt anybody. And so they all you know, trauma bond over their hatred for Mrs. Ackerman and how she doesn't recycle and how she causes the taxpayers millions of dollars, and they're just so offended that she doesn't recycle. And this is when it gets dark because the garbage men are like, somebody ought to kill her. Like,
yeah, they're like, I hate her guts.
Like, god damn, like, she don't recycle, so it's time for murder. And so Beverly takes it seriously because she's like, for the sake of this planet, somebody just might.
Somebody just might. And then she salutes them and leaves. And they can you believe that goddamn litter bugger? So this, I will say, is my second favorite part of the movie. Okay.
So Beverly is attempting to stalk and kill Mrs. Ackerman. She goes over to her house. Unfortunately, Mrs. Ackerman has company. Who's her company? Dottie Hinkle's over. And so they're watching this. I had to mention this. Rest in peace to the great Joan Rivers. They're watching this Joan Rivers segment where it's basically women who are in love with murderers. I forgot what the segment was called. What's it called?
I can't remember.
Damn, it was like, I don't know. But basically, women who like murderers. And so, you know, they're watching that, and Beverly's like stalking outside the window. But then Dottie sees her, and so she scares her, and she's like, oh,
Rosemary.
Oh, it's just Beverly. And so Beverly comes in, and she's just like, oh, Dottie, I'm so sorry to hear about what happened to you. And she's like, it's not fair. No. And so
Rosemary offers her a beer,
which she declines. She just wants a little coffee. And so when Rosemary gets the coffee, Beverly says, are those pussy willows?
What did you just say?
Pussy willows, Dottie.
Are those pussy willows?
Dried ones. Aren't they pretty?
What did you just say? Pussy willows, Dottie.
Smash! And so she grabs a Fabergé egg on Rosemary's table and smashes it on the ground. And, you know, she's like, oh my God, what are you doing? It's that classic, you know, I did it, but you did it thing, just over talking the person, gaslighting like hell. She's like, bro, you know, Dottie didn't mean to do it, did you, Dottie? And she's like,
I did not break your your Fabergé egg. You know I and Rosemary's like, you know I collect Franklin Mint.
And so very quickly, very hastily, Beverly pushes Rosemary out the door, and they're gonna go to the swap meet to find another Fabergé egg. And so this is all her plan to kill her. And you know, they just leave Dottie in Rosemary's house.
It was her. I heard her voice.
And so again, this is the 90s. But they did this in Goosebumps. This whole leaving people in your house when you leave, what? I mean, who was driving? Like, it was just very rushed. Like, did she even grab her purse? Like, damn. So they go to the swap meet. And while they're at the swap meet, we're at the dentist office. And so Mr. Stubbins is getting the worst root canal of his damn life.
Not Mr. Stubbins.
Oh crap. Mr. Sterner is getting it's too many. So Mr. Sterner is getting the worst root canal of his life. He's screaming, he's hollering.
It's so gross, like a close-up on the teeth. It's so nasty. I did not. Oh god, their scenes are disgusting.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll get to that later. I'm so glad.
Okay.
But yeah, his wife walks in during the root canal, and she's like, "You need to calm down. You need to stop. You need to take it easy on him." It's just like, don't piss me off during this movie. And so the detectives come, and so basically they want to speak to Eugene because they found the serial killer books in the trash. And so Eugene's like, you know, I'm sure those are my sons. And they're like, no, their description is for your wife. And I'm like, couldn't she have gotten them for the son? Circumstantial evidence. Does he
have a credit card?
Yeah, I'm like, circumstantial evidence pisses me off. You know how back in the 90s you had to, and if you wanted to order them damn elastic plastic balloons, you had to get your parents' credit card and pay $19.99, 3 payments of $19.99. Like there was CDs, we did not have Amazon.
CDs for $1.
Right, we did not. Now, if you want, that's what I call music. Volume 3. You had
those came out. I think that came out. The first one came out like '99. So stop. Don't do that. It was 1994. Don't do that.
My point is, you remember you had to have that credit card to order anything offline. So just the idea that they immediately assumed that it was just her was weird to me. I don't like circumstantial evidence like that. And this is around the time when you can get away with murder easily. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer was only a few years before this. So,
Rosemary sees the Fabergé egg that she wants, and she tries to haggle the seller, and he's like $50, and she's like, but it's chipped, and he said no, $50, like $50, and she was like, I don't even want it. So she looks over and she sees a fire poker that she has, and her ass changes the price tag on the fire poker and gives that to him. And he's like, oh well, I guess I did mark it for this price. And she checks out and goes back to Beverly, thinking that she swindled him, but I mean, she still ended up giving him some money. So she goes back to Beverly, and Beverly looks up, and who does she see at the swap meet?
Motherfucking Carl, who's a dirty, sick bastard. He has stitches. And so he's at the swap meet with this pretty blonde girl, very Farrah Fawcett. Oh, I'm giving her too much. Very 90s model. Yeah, just very blonde, skinny, thin, and you know, he's with her. Misty doesn't see him, but Beverly does. And so she's pissed. And so I forgot what her excuse was, but she leaves. But she takes the fire poker that Rosemary just bought with her. And so she stalks Carl all around the swap meet, which I'm like, nobody notices this. Right. And so she follows him into the back. Oh, I'm sorry. While Carl and his girlfriend are walking around, he actually buys her the Fabergé egg. That will matter later. She's like, Carl, please, I love Franklin Mint.
But please, for my bedroom decorations.
So he buys it, and so then he's like, I gotta go take a piss, which was the way it caught her off guard, it caught me off guard. I was like, God, like, just say you have to go to the bathroom. Oh my God, it's so aggressive. Because piss just sounds aggressive. Bring our big old men back. I miss men. He's
in the bathroom, and we meet the most disgusting character in the whole series, Mr. Marvin Pickles. Who there's a hole in the wall in the bathroom stall. Like, what is this? Screams 2, and he's peeping through the hole in the men's bathroom, peeping at men peeing or doing what. Well, I guess they're just peeing because just the urinals on the outside in the bathroom. It's like, disgusting.
Yeah, and so Beverly has to hide in the stall because a man comes out. Of course, she's in the men's bathroom at this point, stalking Carl, who was taking the longest pee in history. And so she waits for what she thinks everyone to leave. Now Marvin does see her in the other stall, and so he gets spooked and he just runs out. And so with him gone, Beverly heaves and hoes and heaves and hoes. She basically just rams him with the fire poker. Oh my God. Like she rammed him and just killed him with one quick shot. And then when she pulls it out, I remember it being smaller. It's like this huge, I don't even know what artery that is, but it's just this huge bloody piece on the poker. And she's just like, she like pulls it off. And then I don't know why she flushed the toilet, but okay. So she pulls it off, she flushes the toilet, and she heads out. Don't wipe the blood off.
Well, she ends up slipping on whatever that organ was before she leaves out of the bathroom.
But she don't wipe the fire poker off at all. Again, when I say this is satire, because when I say she don't give a damn if she get caught, she's leaving behind fingerprints, evidence, all kinds. Anyway, she goes out, she puts the fire poker back, and she comes back with something that she bought around, making it seem like she was just around shopping. And she's like, I made a killing. So in the midst of that, in walks in this guy.
Oh my God, this was my favorite part when I was
knew
a
it
kid.
Was because
he walked into the bathroom with the longest fucking shish kebab known to man. It was like it was a foot long shish kebab. He walks in and he sees Carl's dead body. And I actually looked it up. This is called a Howie scream. Yeah!
I'm like... And so everybody, like, you hear everybody at the swap meet screaming, and they're all running over to see what the ruckus is. And so Missy's like, hey, watch the booth, Mom. I'm going to go see what happens. And she's like, oh my God, I hope nothing's hurt. And that's when we get one of the best parts of the movie. This is your favorite part. And so that's when
Rosemary looks down and she sees something on Beverly's shoe, and she says, I know you got it.
Beverly, you got some doo-doo on your shoe.
And then Beverly like wipes her foot. She's like, I hate when that happens. No, she actually said, Beverly, honey, you got some doo-doo on your shoe.
I hate that.
I hate when that happens.
It's crazy because I need people to watch the movie to understand why shit like this is. It's funny. Yes. It's funny because A, it's Mrs. Puff, and then B, she is very terrible at covering up her crimes. Like, it's just like, girl. And so
Misty sees that Carl is dead.
Yes. And so as the detectives are zipping up the body and everything, of course the girlfriend reacts. She the girlfriend is very visibly, just shaken by it until she sees Detective Pike. This is why it matters that he's attractive, because she sees him and then she's just okay again. She's like, she's like, I like sex and I'm not afraid to admit. Excuse me, I just had pudding an hour ago. And so they see Misty react, and that's when they put two and two together, and they're like, hey, this is the guy we saw the other day, and what's going on here? And so Misty runs back and she's like, Mom, Carl's dead. And she's like, well, be careful what you wish for, honey. Again, like very unfazed, very, oh, I saw the Pee Wee Herman doll, just very like, she's not caring about it at all. And so
not at all.
That's when Rosemary is just like shocked, and then she reaches over, she touches the fire poker, and she realizes there's blood on it, which again, you ain't gonna ask no questions. You about to get in the car with them and go home?
Nothing.
Okay. And so
we're at the family dinner. We're back home at the family dinner, and Chip is at the dinner, and he tells her that Scotty thinks that she's the killer. And Beverly's like, oh, that's so crazy. And then she pushes herself away from the table. She's like, excuse me, I'll be right back. And she goes into the kitchen and I think she's going to go get, like, I don't know, some butter or something for toast.
Right.
And she gets in her car. Yeah. And peels off. She gets in her car and peels off.
In the midst of her peeling off, this is when you realize that the police are actually building a case against her. So they're interviewing Rosemary. They're interviewing Dottie Hinkle. And so, Dottie's, she's telling the police about what she said, and so she's very nervous. She's like, would you become more comfortable if a policewoman came? And she's like, maybe. And so a policewoman comes over, and she's just like, let it out. And she's like, pussy. That's what she said. Pussy Willows. And so they're with Rosemary, and they're like, and she had the fire poker, and there was blood on it, and I thought she had some doo-doo on her shoe, but it wasn't doo at all. It was gore hanging there like a runny nose. And so, they're building their case against her, which at this point, Eugene is also discovering a few things about Beverly, because he goes through her stuff at home and he realizes she's been corresponding with Ted Bundy. I thought that was a very, very cute little Easter egg to throw in there. And so Ted Bundy's been sending her, videotapes or tape recordings, and Beverly, they're about to kill me, that kind of thing. So they've been corresponding for a while now, and she has letters and all these kind of things from various murderers. So the family is aware that some shit's off. Because Missy's like, Chip, you wanted your teacher dead, now he's dead. I say I wanted Carl to die, now he's dead. Chip don't give a damn if his mom is a murderer or not. But they're led to believe that because she's gone off to kill Scotty because of what Chip said earlier. Scotty thinks you're the killer. And so the family gets in the car and they drive off. And a police car is driving after Beverly. And so she is not paying him no mind. I'm like, he got the sirens on and everything. And she just like,
this shit was wondering what her plan was.
Like, she's just like, daybreak.
She ends up escaping the police
in a station wagon.
By riding over a median by a house and cutting a corner. And the cop's like, oh shit, what? Where did she go? And that's in the meantime, the detectives are also following the family. So the family is headed to Chip's house, and we also think that I'm sorry, the family is headed to Scotty's house, and we also think that Beverly is headed there too. But surprise, surprise,
Beverly rolls up on the motherfucking Sterners. And this is when we get introduced to a scene that I think about often at night. So the Sterners are at home eating, please, what are those, Cornish hens?
They are Cornish hens. It is so disgusting how they're eating it. They're just pulling the skin. Like the skin is soft skin on chicken. Ew!
It's not crispy at all, but they're eating it. They're tearing that meat up. And so Beverly's, watching from the window. And so she gets pissed off because she's like, well, the whole point my husband had to miss the bird watching thing is because of your husband's fucking tooth, and he's supposed to be eating healthy, and this motherfucker is chomping on chicken bones and shit. So she gets pissed. And so this is when she decides it's time for the Sterners to go.
They gotta go.
Which is interesting because I wonder how she got there. Like, I wonder how she just decided to kill them that night. Anywho, so she sneaks in the house, and they finish dinner, and so Mrs. Sterner goes upstairs. And so Mr. Sterner is downstairs eating the motherfucking Hershey pie from Burger King. I was like,
he was gobbling that. Like
it was a whole
This is a mouse. This is a mouse. He was putting like globs of this big, and it's
right. Mind you, he just had a root canal earlier that day.
Yo, so I didn't eat for like 2 days after I had a root canal.
Like, his mouth not hurting? I hope I never have to get one because I'm not there.
They're not.
That's
fun.
why I don't want to get my wisdom teeth taken out because I can't eat no liquids. I'm not. So he's down there eating, and so Beverly she's made it upstairs. Now Mrs. Sterner is getting into her nightgown, and Wheel of Fortune is on, and so
it's probably like 7:15 p.m.
Yeah, and so they're just talking to each other. He's downstairs, she's upstairs, and they're talking to each other. And so she, moves her dress out of the way, and Beverly is standing right there, which was really good horror. Really good horror. You had scissors. I fucking hate you. Really good horror. And so she stabs Mrs. Sterner. She's like, ow! And then there's this weird part that I don't understand because then a rat starts gnawing at her leg, and I was like, "Where the fuck?"
Well, no. So Mrs. Sterner yells, and she says, "Ralph, I think we got rats." And Ralph is eating. He's like, we got an exterminator. Why did you have scissors too?
Because these are the actual scissors from the movie.
Hold it up.
And yeah, and so she just continues to stab her, and while she's pulling the scissors out of her, he hears, of course, hears his wife screaming, so he runs upstairs, and so Beverly, she take them scissors, and she, like, I was like, damn, like
Beverly Hills Ninja,
like, she misses him, of course, but she tries to hit him twice. This is when victims start getting stupid, so he runs outside. She manages to have time to run back upstairs. This is 1994 when air conditioners were in the window, and she pulls the window up. He's standing literally outside the window on the front lawn screaming for help. And so she pulls the window up, and the air conditioner comes down and kills him.
So dumb.
In the midst of that, Scotty is at home watching a porno.
The titties were so
out of control. Big. I don't know what kind of I don't know. I didn't know they were just pornos where women just get undressed. And so he's fully dressed under the covers, pleasuring himself. And so,
but he's like screaming. He's like, who does that?
Apparently it felt amazing. And so he's just like doing his thing. And so the family runs in his house. His parents aren't home, of course. And so the family runs in the house. The detectives run in the house, and they all catch him mid climax.
Yeah.
And so, he's just mortified. And so the family goes home because they're like, she's not the murderer. And so they go home, and she's there as well. And she's like, hey, and she has a bowl of the best looking strawberries I wanted to go and get some strawberries. Like, those strawberries look so good and fresh and colorful. Like, but I'm not eating strawberries for dessert. So, yeah. And so they're just left to believe, that was just, a great thing that happened. Now this is when things take a turn. So the family goes out for church in the morning, and it's a fleet of police cars outside.
It's like,
so they're like, what the hell? And so they're just like, just ignore them. And so they get in the car and they're headed for church. Now what we find out is that the police are actually waiting for she left the fucking scissors at the scene of the crime. And they're waiting to get, they're waiting for the fingerprints to be verified before they can arrest her. So the family goes off to church, and the whole 20 fleet of police cars follows her. And so on the way to church, over the news, the radio is basically saying that you will never believe, there's the Sterners were murdered last night. And so that's when the family was like, oh, you killed them instead. So, they're like, you're a serial killer. And she's like, the only cereal I know anything about is Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispies.
And so we even have people like in the car next to them screaming and shouting. And so the radio's like, they've named Beverly Sutphin as the prime suspect. And so she's just like, oh, what? Are you? They've got to be kidding. Like, she's just so nonchalant about it.
Yeah. So like they get to the church, and the preacher is giving his sermon that has a lot to do with Beverly.
Girl, they get to the church. She's getting evil eyes out this world. That was sad for me because Birdie, Chip's girlfriend, she's trying to go over with him, and like his family would not let her go over there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and also the whole town's at church, because I was like, is Scotty really at church on a Sunday? In his camo pants. But yeah, so the sermon is very targeted. Like, and I was like, see, it was very much so political religious, because I was like, why are we talking about the death penalty in church? So everybody's in there, the police are in there, and so they're just waiting to get the go-to Buster. And so in the midst of the sermon, they get the okay. So they go into the church. Two of the detectives run into the church, and so they stand up. And so Beverly sneezes on a baby, and the booger flies on the baby's face. It's a huge glob of booger, and the mom screams, and so everybody panics, and so
chaos ensues.
Yes, chaos ensues. Beverly runs out, and so Chip and Birdie basically steal Scotty's car, throws Beverly into the back seat, and they drive off. And so Scotty pursues them, and so
he's chasing them.
There's this photographer guy who's like, and so he's following Eugene and Misty out, and he's taking a bunch of pictures. Not important. I feel like it is, just because I don't know. Basically, Misty has a new beau who's actually into her. That's all you need to know about.
So they get to this is my part. They get to the video store, and my thing was church already over? Because Chip was like, I gotta open up the store. I'm like, how far is the church from the movie rental store? Because the chaos ensued, and they immediately went there, and he had to open up the store, and then they get a knock at the door. At the store, somebody trying to come in. So I'm like, I guess church is at 10 and the store opens at 11? I don't know, but it's Miss Jensen. Yes. So Miss Jensen walks in, and she seems like this very sweet older lady. Very sweet. And Chip's like, Miss Jensen, I told you gotta rewind the VHS. And Miss Jensen's like, why? He's like, because it's store policy. And she's like, well, I don't want to. You got Annie? And he's like, yeah. So he puts the movie down. He's like, that'll be $2.99 plus $1 for the rewind fee. That'll be $3.99.
Which I'm like, these prices.
That's expensive. So she takes her money out of her wallet and she throws it on the counter, and she says, keep the change, you son of a psycho. But in this time, Beverly can hear her saying this because she was tucked away in the back, but she had popped the door open just a little bit to see what was going on. So she heard what Mrs. Jensen said. Chip and Birdie laugh at each other like, haha, Mom, can you believe Mrs. Jensen? And then they don't hear anything. And they're like, you don't think. So they run back to the back room when they see that Beverly is gone. She's out of there. So they look up Mrs. Jensen's address, and just in case they would want to go check out to see what's happening, to see if she went over to Miss Jensen's house to freaking kill her. And they run on foot because it's just down the street. And we see Scotty. He's there as well. He follows them. All three of them do the dumbest things when they get there. Why did Birdie and Chip not go knock on the door? They're over there trying to look in Miss Jensen's windows, which are astronomically high. The windows are so high that they have to get on each other's shoulders to try to look inside her window.
I didn't even think about that. So Mrs. Jensen gets home and she makes herself a lamb sandwich, and she
Why was it green?
I thought that was the lettuce.
Was that pesto?
That was the lettuce for the sandwich. It was like the lettuce. It was lettuce. And so
that's a dry ass motherfucking sandwich. Got a piece of lamb on it and lettuce.
And so Beverly enters the home, and the dog starts barking, and she's like, "What are you barking at?"
Sylvester, hush, Sylvester. Mama's watching Annie.
Come on, lick Mama's feet. Get them all wet.
Ew! And then Annie starts, and then this whole scene, all you hear is the sun will come out.
Does the movie really start like that?
Yes, because it's opening credits.
Okay.
Back in the day, they had opening credits.
Okay, because I was like, okay.
Scotty is actually on Miss Jensen's garage. He has a bird's eye view into the living room, while Chip and Birdie are trying to jump on each other's shoulders to look in. Everybody sees that Miss Jensen's okay. She's watching TV. She's singing. She's moving. Everyone's like, oh, okay, whatever. So Beverly comes in with a knife. She picks up a knife and starts walking into the living room, and Scotty sees her. She gets all the way up to Miss Jensen, and she changes her mind and goes back into the kitchen. So Scotty's like, phew, I guess she's not gonna kill her. This bitch goes into the kitchen and picks up the fucking brontosaurus bone from the Flintstones, gives Sylvester a little piece of it, comes out, and while Miss Jensen is singing, beats the fuck out of her with that rack of lamb. And she's like, hitting tomorrow. You're only a day. Way. And when she
rewind.
Yes, she pushes the button on the VCR. Rewind. And so Scotty sees this whole thing. So his dumb ass is still on the roof, and Beverly looks to her right, and she sees him, and he's like, "Oh shit!" So he starts running.
Yeah. So she runs out. Well, she grabs the knife.
Chip and Birdie. Yeah, she grabs the knife, but Chip and Birdie didn't see anything because they were too busy fucking playing leapfrog over there by the window.
Yeah. So Birdie gets back on Chip's shoulders, and that's when she sees that she's dead, and so she's visibly freaked out. She's like, "Oh my god, it's not red like in the movies, it's brown," and she's like really visibly upset about it, which doesn't make sense when you think about what happens later. But yeah, so he coddles her, and so after that, we see Beverly running in heels, because remember, she came to church.
She is booking it,
burning his ass. I don't know how this teenager, he barely makes it to his car. So he makes it to his car, gets his keys, and so he's like, trying to start his car up. And so he has and you call that an awning, right? An awning over his sports car? Is that
he has a convertible.
I know, but what's the thing called? The thing from
convertible top.
The convertible top, go to hell. But it's not I don't know, it's not metal. So she's stabbing through it. She's like, "Buckle your seatbelt, it's the law." And so he drives off, and so she steals a van from this guy with her knife at knife point. Again, this is broad daylight. This is it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Sunday after church.
Yeah, and so she steals his car in broad daylight, and so she's driving after him. And so while Eugene's looking for her, he sees Scotty, and he sees her, and they're driving by, and so do the police. So of course the police are following Eugene and Missy, and Eugene and Missy are following Beverly. So Scotty drives up to a rock concert that's going on in the middle of the day. An indoor rock concert that's going on in the middle of the day. And so he gets in, he goes in, and so she goes in as well. And so they let her in because she has now been coined serial mom because of her serial killing. And so, she's chasing him backstairs. She's cutting wires, making shit fall on him, and how he is.
Well, somehow he ends up getting on the stage, and the group Camel Lips doesn't. They're pure feminists. They don't like men anywhere in their area. He runs on stage, and one of the guitarists hits him in the gut with the guitar. And then that's when Beverly comes up on the side of the stage and she sees the stage lights. That's when she cuts the rope and the stage lights fall on Scotty. So Scotty's pinned down and she leans over with a fucking lighter and a can of aerosol and says, "Buckle up, Scotty," and lights his ass on fire in this concert. So he's running out on the stage. He's like, "Oh, I'm on fire, I'm on fire." And the group is like, "Yeah, rock on, baby."
This was the only death I was really sad for, because he was like, "I'm sorry, Mrs. Sutphin." And I was just like, "Oh."
You know those voice edits were done in post.
and so
the group actually spits alcohol on him too to inflame him even more. So Scotty's dead, and Beverly comes out and she's like jamming, and the family's like, "The fuck is going on?" And she's like, "Yeah."
So the police come inside and arrest her ass. They're like, "Shut the fuck up." And so in the midst of her being arrested and taken out, the whole concert is yelling, "Serial mom, serial mom, serial mom, serial moms." And so she's just like living it up. So the trial begins, and this is the quickest trial that I have ever seen before in my life. Because like, what? So Beverly's headed to the court. She has every prisoner on the bus singing like this old
"Crack it open, crack it open, crack."
It's like, oh my God. So she shows up in court, bubbly as ever, like, "Hi, jury people. Oh, I like your tie." Like, just very, like the judge is like, "Can't do that. Stop." Order in the court, all that kind of shit. Her family shows up and they're very supportive. Like, they're all here and they're like, "We're gonna do everything we can." She's being represented by the family lawyer that they've apparently known for years. And so we get the trial started. And so before the trial even gets started, Beverly is disturbed because one of the jurors is wearing white shoes after Labor Day. Mind you, do they even go with the outfit? Don't piss me off.
I don't think so.
And so she lets her lawyer know during his opening statement that, that's what she writes down. Out of all, like, she's on trial for murder, but she's like, juror number 9 is wearing white shoes.
Number 6. Juror number 6.
Damn it. Okay. Number 6. I feel like, okay. Okay. And so that's when his defense becomes that she's insane, and so she asks the judge if she can fire him and represent herself, to which he says okay. And so everyone's like, "What the hell?" And so she is her own lawyer.
Right. First up is Dottie Hinkle. That is our first witness. So
again, Dottie be walking in like she already got it on lock, and she don't. Like, I'd be like, "What the fuck you got on?" Like,
Queen teens.
Like, this is not England.
Plaid on plaid on plaid.
Like, I'm like, "Girl, what the fuck you got on?" So she walk in with, with attitude, like she's just the top notch. Oh, well, I don't know, gays listening. So Dottie Hinkle is actually the aunt in the Eating Out movies. That's your little Easter egg. So yeah, Dottie gets on stand, and so Beverly starts questioning her about
drinking,
possibly being drunk when she received the phone calls. And so she's like, "So you don't drink?" She's like, "No, I don't." And she's like, "Oh, so you weren't drinking when I saw you at Mrs. Rosemary's house?" She's like, "Well, I drink socially. I'll have a beer." And she's like, "Oh, so you meant that you just lied?" He's like, "No, I don't, you bitch." Like, damn, you're so mad. So the judge is like, "Hey, watch your language."
And then Beverly goes,
"Did you see that? She just said fuck you to me." Let the court see that I'm merely just standing here. Again, why did no one see that though? It was not like that was not, I'm like, nobody saw that. And so,
"Fuck you too, you whore."
And so the judge is like, "All right, you curse one more time, I'll hold you in contempt." And that's when Beverly goes in for the kill. She's like, "Mrs. Hinkle, are you insane?" "No, I'm not, you motherfucker." The judge, he holds her in contempt. She has to spend 5 days in jail and pay $1,000 fine. And so she's just going off at this point. She's like, "You cocksucker, you pig fucker, you ugly whore, you bitch." And so,
she was like, "You know what? I'm going to jail. I'm getting all this shit out right now." And I hope she moves.
Eugene looks at Beverly, and Beverly like, "Baby, I got this." And so that's when we're under the impression Beverly know what the fuck she doing. as much as careless as she's been throughout this entire movie with like leaving behind, I mean, baby evidence for the detectives. She owned it in this courtroom. Because as we all know, court is about what you can prove. It's not about what the fuck you did. Okay.
Correct. So second up is Miss Hodges.
Does it matter that Carl's brother comes and punches Chip? Do we care?
No. We don't care.
So basically, while the trial is going on, the kids are outside doing motherfucking promos. So they got merchandise. They're signing books.
She's serial mom and she's my mom.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to mention the photographer boyfriend, because he's like signing his book that he already wrote about her. And so
how long was she in jail?
They're out, like everybody got pins. Like it's just very much so chaos outside. So they are marketing.
It's Louise mania out there.
Yeah, it's Gail Weathers. So they're marketing the hell out of this. And so basically Carl's brother comes and he's like, your mom killed my brother, and he punches Chip, but then Chip is like, hey, you got movie rights? He's like, I wonder if Jason Priestley's available. So yeah, that's going on outside. So basically the movie about to be made is supposed to star Suzanne Summers. That'll matter later. So who's next?
So the second person up to the stand is Mrs. Hodges. And Miss Hodges is the stoner girl that we saw when Beverly ran over Mr. Stubbins. So she gets on the stand and she's clearly high. I don't know what weed she was on, because I don't know
what strand. I've never seen anybody act like that unless it's a movie.
But it was my favorite part. They cross-examine her and they're like, hey, you saw Beverly run over Mr. Stubbins in the parking lot of the school. And she's like, I seen that movie. I don't know why. But that is like one of my favorite quotes. And I say that when somebody asks me if I've seen something, like, I've seen that movie, and nobody ever gets it. Nobody but you and Amanda would ever get that. And probably the girl that played Mrs. Hodge. I've seen that movie.
I seen that movie. It's on cable.
That car is blue, blue. Like
she's so high she can't really testify. She's not a good witness. Usually they would make her take a recess and then come back maybe like the next day or something, but they just shoo her off. They're done with her. They're done with her. So
again, Beverly wins round 2.
Yeah. Third up is the detective, the Mario of the detective bunch.
And so his case is basically that they found the books, the murderous books and all that in her trash. So Beverly cross-examines, and so remember, this is why we have to introduce all these characters. So she's very cool with the garbage men, and so she has discovered some of his literature in the garbage. And so she's like, so you're judging me by what I read, but we found this in your trash can, Chicks with Dicks. And so
and he's like, this is private property. This is trespassing. He doesn't deny it.
No, doesn't deny it at all. Well, he said,
I'm a married man.
Like, okay, so you like chicks with dicks. And so, he's like, I hope they give you the gas chamber. So, when witnesses get irate like that, the judge instructs them to, dismiss it. So another witness that she's clocking them out. Like and so
she knows exactly what to do when it comes to these people because they're weak and Beverly's strong.
Yes. And so next on the docket is Rosemary, which seemingly seems to be the hardest one to get. But Beverly has a plan. And so, she, testifies, it was covered in, the fire poker was covered in blood and gore. And so it's funny because she really sounds like Mrs. Puff. Like, you cannot unhear it. So
I think that's just her regular voice.
Yeah, she's like, oh. And so when Beverly cross-examines, Beverly gets her because she's like, okay, so it was your magazine that had the letters cut out that were sent to Dottie Hinkle. It was your fire poker that killed Carl Paget, and you were also upset because his girlfriend bought the Fabergé egg that you wanted. And so she's just, Annalise Keating,
she's tearing her up.
Slut killer. And so that's when
she hits her with the piece de la resistance. Rosemary, do you recycle?
No, I don't have room in my kitchen. And so everyone's just like I didn't know recycling was such a big thing in 1994 because I swear nobody does it now. And so
that's why the world is just ending.
Like, ain't nobody planting trees no more. And so that's when Suzanne Summers shows up, and she walks in the courtroom, and she walks in the courtroom while the cross-examination is happening for the other detective, Luigi. And, so he's all like, oh my God, you are Suzanne Summers. And even the judge is like awestruck. Everybody's, starstruck by her. She has a fur coat with a t-shirt on, and she
looks really pretty. She looks really pretty.
R.I.P. R.I.P. And so she sits down in the front row, and she's just like, and so basically this was weird because what the detective is
he wants to enter in a photo for evidence. Do we even see what that photo is?
It's the photo. I think it's the scissors. I think it's the Sterner murder. Or is it?
Okay.
It's a Sterner murder. And so even though he's giving like, good evidence of like with the fingerprint and everything, because Suzanne walks in, he's just
nobody gives a shit.
He's just like, no further questions. And I'm just like, well, that was actually your ace in the hole, but okay. Like,
right.
Out of all of those, you had at least one that she really couldn't, pop. So, okay, whatever. And so,
well, you got to think of it, because remember, I'm going to get you something you didn't remember. In the beginning, when she was calling Dottie on the phone, Rosemary comes over with a basket that has all of her knitting equipment in it. So she could have said that Rosemary's fingerprints were on them too.
Well, I thought that's what like the implication during the whole Rosemary cross, when she was like, those were your scissors. So, I mean, did you kill him? So, at this point, they rest the case, and so Beverly's like, "Y'all
no.
The case
hell no. Number 6, Marvin motherfucking Pickles.
Oh shit! I forgot about Marvin. Okay,
so Marvin.
So they
Pickles
can't even fucking find Marvin, because what is Marvin doing? He in the damn bathroom of the courthouse, drawing penises, writing like lewd remarks.
He drew I sniff jury's underpants in the bathroom.
Like fucking
he's
childish.
He's disgusting.
So they go and get him. The bailiff goes and gets him, and he comes in, and so they start cross-examining him because, of course, he witnessed her being in the bathroom during the Carl Pageant murder.
Right. No, I mean he saw her before the murder, so I mean, really, truly, he's not a good eyewitness. She was just there.
Yeah, but again, circumstantial evidence. So we can't even explain this in a good way because we can't visually do it.
Think of Basic Instinct when Sharon Stone uncrossed her legs, opened her legs, and then crossed them again.
Right.
So we're just doing opening. So Beverly's doing hip adduction. Is it adduction?
Yes.
So she's doing that
during his testimony. And he sees her legs under the table, just going like, faster and faster and faster. He's like, I've never seen Beverly Sutphin in my life. You told me to say
I lied.
This. Like, he's just recusing himself. He's like committing all kinds of perjury because he's a pervert. And so, after he says all that, he lets him go. And so Beverly crosses her legs and she's done.
How did the judge not see that?
You have to really watch. You have to watch this movie because you can this is like, you have to see this because it's just amazing. Like
and then they use like this boom 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 boom.
She is just giving it her all. So
she's her legs.
So after that, that's what Beverly's like. The defense proves nothing. The defense. I'm sorry. The defense. Yep. No. The prosecution has proved nothing. The defense rests also. And so, everyone claps. And so that's the end of the case. And so now it's just up to the jurors. And so after deliberation, they come back. She still, mind you, during this whole time, she is freaked out about this lady in this white shoes. And mind you, this is going on for multiple days, right? Not the same day. So she's wearing those white shoes every single day. And I'm like, you doing too much. And so the jury comes back and they find her not guilty of all murders. And so everyone's happy and cheering. And she's like, I'm coming home. And her Missy's boyfriend's like, am I okay? And they're like, don't make her mad. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Treat me right. Treat me right.
And so her and Suzanne are walking out with all the press. And, Suzanne's just like, I knew she was innocent. And, they're walking. And so Beverly's like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom real quickly. And when she sees the juror walking past her. And so the juror's on the phone and she's like, I knew she was innocent.
We did it. We set her free.
Beverly come up. She hang up that phone. She said, you can't wear white shoes after Labor Day.
And she says, that's not true. Fashion has changed.
Yes, it is. Didn't your mother ever tell you? Pow! She grabs the phone that is on a cord and she hits her with, and I'm like, and she's like, no, please. Fashion has
changed. No. It hasn't.
And she baps her again with the phone. So she is beating her to death with a cord phone.
Still in the courthouse with a payphone. She's beating her to death with a payphone, and they're still in the. She just got free like 85 seconds ago.
Yeah, and so she runs off. She's done killing her. She joins back the team, and so they want to take a photo. And so Suzanne's trying to move her to the right. She's like, she's trying to look. Well, Suzanne, I'm okay over here. She's like, well, come on, Beverly. And she's like, Suzanne Summers, this is my bad side. And so that's when you hear the another person scream. And very great shot. I want to get like shout out to the cinematography there. You see red blood come over the white heels,
pumps.
And so you hear her scream, and so that's when Beverly looks at Suzanne. Suzanne look at Beverly like, and so that's when Beverly's just, and so that's when the movie ends. But it's like, Beverly Sutphin refused to cooperate with the making of this film, and the movie ends. The end.
10 stars. 10 out of 10.
12 out of 10.
10 boxes of cereal, 10 bathroom stalls, 10 fire pokers, 10 Fabergé eggs, 10 red convertibles, 10 camel lips,
9 golden rings,
10 bird watching calls, 10 root canals. Amazing. This is one of those movies that has
10 rat in the box. 9. I don't.
10 rats in the box.
I don't get that part. Like,
10 episodes of Wheel of Fortune. This is a movie that has stuck with me since the first time that I've ever seen it. And it is a movie that did I introduce you to this movie? Or you said you saw it before. Okay.
No, I had saw it, and remember I brought up the quote. I was the one who brought up because it was gore hanging there like snot. And so that's when we rewatched it.
I mean, so mind you guys, this is like maybe like the year 2001, 1999, 98 that we watched this movie, and it has stuck with us ever since. So we knew that this had to be the first movie that we reviewed on the Boo Shakalaka podcast. So I've given my rating. What is your rating?
12 out of 12. 12 out of 10. I'm sorry. 12 out of 12. 12 out of 10. 12 out of 10.
It exceeds everything. And Kathleen Turner is so good in this role. Like she is so menacing and like so mesmerizing at the same time, because she embodies that suburban Stepford wife, house mom, and then she also is like a fucking lunatic.
Like, come on now. This is Jessica Rabbit we're talking about. Like, she let herself go in this role. And again, this is what I miss when like Hollywood was just having fun and actors could just go crazy. Like, this movie is hilarious. Like, it's so quotable. Like,
and there has not 10 toes down. There has not been another movie like this.
I mean, you have Ricky Lake, you have Matthew Lillard, the original Scream King, which this would have been right before. This has been a few years before Scream.
Scream was 96.
Yeah. So, I mean, man. And this is Justin's right. This is before. Well, I don't know when Child's Play 3 came out.
90.
Oh, okay. So he would have already made Child's Play 3. Okay. So yeah. So he would have already made Susie Q. Anywho. So yeah. So man, I encourage everyone. See, currently it's not available. Now I know it's been on Hulu before, especially during Huluween some years, but it's not available for free right now. But it's a must see. I know, like, I'm sure if you look it up on Amazon, it's like $3 nothing.
Even if you don't watch the full movie, just go on there and Google Serial Mom Court Scene. Go on YouTube, Serial Mom Court Scene, or Serial Mom
Dottie Hinkle
Phone. Yes, that's all you need to do. And then like it'll pull you in and you'll immediately want to see the movie.
Yes, this is a must see. This is a must see. Yes.
10 out of 10, 12
Millennials
out of 10.
on TikTok. We told you first. This is a must see.
Millennials, you mean Gen X, Gen Z, Gen whatever?
Gen, what are they?
Gen Z.
Gen, y'all ain't gonna be here long. Global warming.
What? Do you know something that I don't know? Help!
Oh yeah. So
so that'll do it, guys. This is. Be sure to follow us on Twitter X at Boo Shakalaka Pod. Like, rate, review, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hopefully you saw it there, and then also listen to us wherever podcasts are available. Currently I think we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Rate us, comment, give us suggestions. Like, come on, we're doing movies right now. We
haven't gotten any suggestions yet. So Serial Mom was my suggestion. So Pierre, take it away. What would you like to watch next?
We gonna go ahead to an old school girl. One that gets me good and right. One that gets me hot and tight. We gonna do the fine, the fabulous, the curvaceous, the vivacious Scream 1. Original 1996 Scream. Yeah, boy. How you
All right, so be sure to join us next time when we review Scream.